picked out for them yet. Because, as you know, my dogs talk.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, we talk. I'm Sophie. How are you?
Yes, what is my sister going to look like? So we have these voices that we do all the time. And by the way, we do them all the time around the house. We're ridiculous people. I've not yet figured out a voice.
I think you need to meet the dog first.
Correct. The voice has to be based on the dog.
Do you have an idea, though? Is there a type of voice that you're kind of leaning towards?
If it's Marge, I think she's going to have a Wisconsin accent. Marge.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There's something.
And what was the
like
boy
that.
name?
Baxter.
What do you think a Baxter sounds like?
Hey, Sophie.
Yeah.
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 But it can't be a
something
little
like that.
dog then. That's too big. That's a big dog.
Oh, little dogs and everything.
Baxter could also be like a paper boy,
Which would
like a
sound
newspaper. Hey, Sophie.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
like
yeah,
a-
something like that.
Hey, get your paper
that's
here.
a little bit like Sliwa doing an impression of John Ireland. Hey, Mace. Hey, Mace.
Hey.
Hey, Mace.
Hey, Daily Mirror, on sale here, 25 cents. Or your best offer.
So
Something
I
like
want
that. You know,
I
like
want I
Paperboy.
want to do some Dodgers coming up here, Momo.
Ooh,
but
okay.
first, Lakers lose last night. Anthony Davis leaves the game with flu-like symptoms. He only played 8 minutes, but they hung in there.
Yeah.
They hung in there, and they were in that game pretty late. Schroeder was good, and Westbrook was good, and LeBron was good. Now, neither LeBron or AD are going to play tonight in Toronto. But I think my big question is, Momo, and you are around the NBA all the time, why is it flu-like symptoms? If you have symptoms like the flu, why not just call it the flu?
Because they didn't all they probably did was a COVID test.
Okay.
Okay? So it could be a cold, could be a virus, could be a whatever, could be the flu. They
Now-
didn't exactly send it to the lab.
But then why call it flu-like symptoms if you don't know if it's the flu? Could be cold-like symptoms.
Could be cold-like symptoms. I think flu-like symptoms could include other things. Like cold-like symptoms are like your nose, your coughing,
Right,
whatever.
right,
But flu
right.
is like fever.
Yeah, sure.
And Darvin Ham said yesterday he had 101 fever.
Oh, that sounds
AD had,
flu-like.
that's fluish.
Yeah.
And I'm always this is the real on the NBA now.
Yeah.
Very rarely do people ever want to take a COVID test just in case they
Is
have
that
it.
right?
Yeah. Because if you take a COVID test, now you're in the protocols.
Just to take the test?
Well, if you take a COVID test
And you
and you're
test
positive, then you're out for a while until you test negative for whatever the time frame is, right?
Right.
But if you just don't take the test and say, "Oh, sick," well, sick.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So that's a little, I was curious last night.
Yes.
Because the Lakers had to fly to Canada,
Right.
and in Canada things get a little more dicey.
Yeah.
You can't go in there. Like they're not going to let you in if you have COVID. I think the rule is like you have to show a negative test.
Is that what it is?
I think. I don't know what the latest, but you definitely have to be vaccinated. In Canada, they do
Sure.
not allow you to come in the country.
Right.
So the other day, like Al Horford didn't play, Jaylen Brown didn't play up in Canada.
Right.
What does that tell you?
Do you think, by the way, part of it too,
It's still a thing there.
beyond the COVID of it, it is apparently Ireland talks about it, Michael Thompson talks about it, players talk. The whole getting into the country, going through customs,
it's the worst.
all that stuff is
The
really
worst.
difficult.
Yeah. I had to do it a few times because I've traveled around the league, but especially when they were in the finals that year.
Yes.
We were up and back to Toronto several times. And one time I got through, no problem, in and out, boom. The other time, leaving the country, oh my gosh. It was like an hour and a half line. And I didn't have the global entry, but even if you did have the global entry, it was like, it's 45 minutes. And I was like, what? Don't you guys have this down by now? Like,
Right.
Don't people fly in and out of this airport all the time? They
Just
don't.
don't.
Yeah, they just
Even
don't.
flying charter.
Yeah,
apparently.
even charter. It's like
complicated to get
It's
in.
complicated. It's no. Like I know they didn't get in until 3 a.m. They didn't get
is
to their
that right?
hotel till 3 a.m. Eastern last night.
And now they're going to turn around and play again this afternoon. By the way, 4:30 is tip-off.
This is
We'll
what's
have it
called
here.
a scheduled loss.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
we're just not even.
Nobody's playing.
Nobody's playing.
No LeBron. No AD. Patrick Beverly doubtful.
Yeah.
Somebody else was out as well. I forget on the
Second
injury
night of a
report.
back-to-back.
Second night of a back-to-back. Tough game in
On the
Cleveland.
road.
On the road. This is where the coach says, "Hey, you know what, guys? Let's give the young guys some time." A lot of Max Christie tonight.
Oh, really?
Right?
A lot
Like-
of Max Christie.
Right? Like you're gonna get the young guys out there.
Sure.
Last Christmas
Thomas
was in
Bryant?
South Bay last night.
Yeah.
You gonna fly
okay.
up there?
Yeah.
I'm just
you're starting
you
to
know,
name
Thomas
Brandon
Bryant
MJ,
and Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, it's time
and
for the
those
young guys to play.
Yeah. All right, coming up next for you, I am terrified and frustrated to be able to do something that I have to do this week.
Okay.
I will explain that. Plus, what is the greatest, think about this and don't answer. For you, what is the greatest movie of all time?
Oh gosh.
Sight
It's like another Mount Rushmore
Sight
question.
and Sound magazine released their list of the greatest films of all time. I want you to think it through and tell me what it is. And then a bunch of Dodger stuff. I got a bunch of Dodger thoughts coming up. Mason and I are So we'll get to some Dodgers here in a minute. Last night, sometimes you wind up going down a rabbit hole. So while I was watching the Cavs and Lakers last night, I started doing some Dodgers research and looking what everybody was saying about the Dodgers, what they might do, what they could do, what they should do, and of course I listened to everybody except John Heyman.
He shouldn't be listened to.
That still boggles my mind.
It upsets me.
It really is. It is a terrible thing. He put out yesterday, probably about this time, that and
Arson Judge.
Obviously, Arson Judge has now signed with the Yankees on a gigantic deal. Aaron Judge, but he called him Arson Judge and said he was leaning towards the Giants or something like that.
Something like that.
And then a few minutes later said, "Oops, sorry, I apologize."
All right. I understand that this is a big story and it was trending on Twitter. And
sure. That the John Heyman part of it was trending, yeah.
Let me say a word for the reporters in the room. It's a tough job, man.
Sure,
there's a lot of pressure out there. I can't tell you how many times you get a text that you just kind of misread.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to always confirm with somebody, and if they take too long to write back, and just to be clear, is that what you're saying? Sometimes you misread something. If you can get a second source or a third source, even better. But the pressure to break stuff is so intense that oftentimes people make mistakes.
Yes.
That's why you always have to remind yourself, I always type it out on a notepad instead of just on Twitter in case I accidentally hit tweet before I'm ready.
Sure.
And so I have stress dreams about not being able to type correctly, like when I'm trying to break news or something. You always try, even when you have two sources and they're solid and you go over it over and over, I still get nervous. It's still really intense.
Would not want the job.
Yeah.
Have no interest in being newsbreaker person. And in the end, being first, I think, is less important than the analysis that follows.
I don't agree with that.
You don't?
I used to agree with that. But I think it's more about you have to be first enough. You have to break enough of your enough stories that people have a respect for your ability to do it.
Right.
Because then you seem like you're in the know. People know that you have sourcing, that you can break news. Breaking news is hard. I agree. It's sort of like a magic trick. Like people, how do you do it? I mean, first you have to anticipate what the news is going to be. So, okay, look, it's December 7th.
Right.
Which means that I should be making 5 to 10 calls every single day in anticipation of the December 15th trade deadline.
Yes.
And then, but not just random calls. You have to think about who might get traded, what types of contracts might get traded, who just signed contracts that are not looking good, what teams might need. There's just so much calling people and asking, what do you hear, what do you know?
But if you put it out there, you better be damn right.
I know. That's why the pressure's there. So my heart sank for him because that's a rough one.
Oh, it's terrible.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
I have gotten things wrong before, but not that where the tweet lives forever now. Even if you delete it, people have screenshots. Blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
That's why I have almost pivoted to this place where I do break news sometimes, but
yes, you do.
I don't try to live off of that.
Right.
You do other things. You do
the
long stories.
You write long stories.
I'm here with you. I do the show.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You don't live on a diet of only breaking news.
Correct. Because it's a tough way to live. It's like being a day trader in the stock market.
Yeah.
You're on the stock exchange floor, yelling and screaming all day with a little piece of paper.
Does it matter to you who breaks the news first?
No, not in the slightest. I don't remember who broke Anthony Davis to the Lakers first. It was probably Woj. Maybe it was Shams. I don't know. I know,
but you know that Woj breaks 90% of the news.
Sure, but okay.
I don't. I mean, it's like you need to.
Who broke Mookie Betts to the Dodgers?
Who
was it
broke
Passan?
Aaron
Was it
Judge
Ken Rosenthal?
to the Yankees?
It was actually J.P. Morosi. I know that one because
wasn't Rosenthal?
I think it was Morosi.
Well, you think? I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure because I looked it up.
Sure, you were probably
because it happened before I woke up.
Yeah.
And I woke up
right,
and I saw it and I said, "Oh, I wonder who broke it."
But who cares?
But that's just me as a reporter,
right?
Being
but
curious.
the average person, it doesn't even matter to.
So, but the point is, you just have to break enough to where when I say J.P. Morosi, you've heard of that name before, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Ken Rosenthal. It's probably Passan or Rosenthal or Morosi or sometimes Nightingale. So you just have to break enough of them so that your name is in that conversation of people who break things.
It's not Heyman anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. If you tell me John Heyman because of his past, it's
what's
happened
weird
so many
is
times before.
Bergman, yesterday when the Heyman tweet came out, you said I don't really run with stuff that Heyman tweets.
Exactly, and then
Because
2 minutes later he was wrong.
He's like, I'm sorry.
Well, isn't it more damaging to your career if you try to be first and you're wrong than to be a little bit late but right?
Yeah, it is. Although you don't get very far by being 30 seconds late for a long time.
Right.
If you're going to be 30 seconds late, you might as well not.
But it's not damaging, to your career.
No,
whereas being first but wrong is damaging to your career.
First and wrong is terrible.
First and wrong is it's. Look, I mean, you guys, I literally Woj and I have broken stories together before, right? And I'll take you a little behind the curtain. So most of the time, you know something's going to happen, and it's just a question of like they're seriously talking about it, but then there's this moment where you're okay. If you go ahead and tweet out, they're talking about it. Now you just put out the bat signal to all your competitors. Oh, hey, everybody's gonna go call all the same people you're gonna break it with.
Yeah,
like you're already there. Why give everyone a chance to catch up? Okay, but if you don't tweet that, somebody else might tweet that. Hey, they're in serious discussions. So there's always a do we tweet or not tweet or what? Okay? There's a real challenge there. But when it gets down to it, you have to have the tweet holstered. Like you have to have the news holstered, already typed out. Because I can't tell you how many times I'll have I know something's going to happen,
right?
A trade or a free agent signing, whatever it is, and I'll get the one text starting it, the next one to confirm it, and as I'm typing it out, somebody else breaks it.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, I was just typing it out, and the guy's name was hard to spell, and my autocorrect was getting the name wrong,
Right.
The way you have to literally type it out in advance.
Yeah, God, what a horrible existence.
And you have to put
is.
it in Notepad. You cannot put it on Twitter, because what if you accidentally tweet out something you have holstered?
So let me ask you this.
Right? That's hard, too.
When it comes to this news breaking stuff, so like on for the NBA, when it's Woj and Shams, they never say like, oh, Shams broke this first or Woj broke this first. But for baseball, Jeff Passan will say that Ken Rosenthal was first, or
Correct.
Rosenthal will
true.
say, well, J.P. Morosi is first, and they'll give credit to the others. Why is it not both?
Well, I think
sports?
in the NBA it's only two guys. It's either A or B.
Well, Chris Haynes does it too, and so there's a third guy that comes in there. Sometimes Ramona or Dave McMenamin or somebody there's a lot of people that say things
right
and break stuff. But
in the end, and I don't mean to deflate all the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
I never know who broke the story.
I
never know.
Story's out.
I woke up today. It was Aaron Judge to the Yankees. You say it was J.P. Morosi. Congratulations. I had no idea.
That's right.
I immediately started thinking, damn, the Padres were in on Aaron Judge. And
it's kind of interesting.
Like the analysis of it is fascinating. So today, Jacob Arani's coming in, and he's going to play Game of Games with us. So I'm going to be a little transparent here. So Jacob Arani's son, Tyler, is having his bar mitzvah on Saturday.
Hey, mazel tov.
Unfortunately, I cannot be there, but I have to write a handwritten note to send a gift, right? And it is National Letter Writing Day. When was the last time you actually wrote a letter?
It's a good question. I wrote thank you notes.
Personal thank you notes definitely score points.
Personal thank you notes. I did that I had like a very small little sprinkle for my second baby. And I either I did do a couple of texts because I didn't have people's address and I just had to get it done.
Right.
But I did write some thank you notes to certain people who showed up and got me a present.
I am the worst at handwriting.
Me too. It's like I forgot how to do it.
I go back and I look at things I wrote. I'm like, oh my God, I used to actually have decent... What they used to call penmanship, right? Nobody really has penmanship.
The only
anymore.
time I write things out are when I'm on Around the Horn now, and I have some stat that I have just learned 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to remember it, and so I need to have two forms of learning.
Right.
So there's audio learning, kinesthetic learning, and visual learning, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember what it is.
No, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, audio learning is like you hear it, you remember it.
Yeah.
Visual learning is you see it, and you remember it.
Yep.
Kinesthetic is like you're moving or you write it. Okay?
Right.
So the best way to get something to stick is to do 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 3.
Yes.
Don't just read it. If you just read it, it's not going to stick.
Yeah. I mean,
if you read it and say it, you might have a chance. If you read it, say it, and write it, you might get you're going to get it.
Bergman, do you write letters? When was the last time you wrote a letter?
The last time I wrote a letter was probably after my wedding. So probably.
How about holiday cards?
No, I don't.
I don't send holiday cards.
No, I don't ever handwrite letters. I mean, maybe my bar mitzvah before that.
Are holiday cards still a thing?
It's a thing.
Yeah. I don't even think
my friend makes
I may get 2 holiday cards a year. Like
that just means people don't like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that's it. How many holiday cards do you get?
I mean, at least 10.
Do you really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
Get a lot.
I get a smattering of holiday cards.
But most of them, though, are photos, right? They're like
Correct.
the picture ones that just say, like, love such and such family or whatever, the names on
and
the
here
right.
are my
they're
kids.
Not, yeah, they're
There's
not,
a
like,
picture.
handwritten. I get, like, maybe 1 or 2 handwritten ones.
Yeah,
But most of them are just photos.
So I mostly, Nevin and I do a personalized card every year. We do we get one of his friends is like an artist, and so she does sort of a cartoon version of us, and we have them like every year for the past like 10 years.
Yeah,
mostly just do family and friends. But then if you send me a holiday card, then I'll send you one.
Oh Lord!
So like now you're on my list because now I have your return address. You know.
Yeah, I don't.
And then I'll send you one. So if you want one of my cool artwork ones.
I don't think I've sent a holiday card in 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years.
It's okay.
I still get some. And usually they're the ones with the picture, and it's nice. Here are the kids, and they're a year older.
Do you ever feel
kind
kind of bad when you throw those out? Eventually you have to throw them out.
Eventually. I leave them up for a long time, all through the holidays.
Yeah.
Breaking news?
What?
So Ken Rosenthal on The Athletic wrote, "What am I hearing about Carlos Correa, the Dodgers, and more?" And it starts off saying, "The Dodgers are not pursuing shortstop Carlos Correa in part out of concern with a sizable portion of their fan base would not welcome the move."
Wow.
So out on Carlos
No
Correa.
Carlos Correa. Now, this raises a bunch of other issues, and I want to get into them coming up after Wheel of Questions. Momo, it's your wheel today.
Yep.
You've put all these questions on a wheel, and we're going to spin it, and we'll see what comes up, right?
Yeah. Somebody just wrote me something funny on Twitter. Okay.
By the premise.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
It was funny. And you know what? I actually might give you a choice
Well, that's
of the question.
Well, that's the wheel.
No, the wheel's going to choose for us, but I'm going to tell you what the other choice. Like, it's, when The Price is Right when it gets stuck in between two numbers?
Sure.
We're going to do that.
Okay, good. We'll do that coming up next for you. Hey, cover.
During this holiday season, ESPN
What do we got?
So, the John Ireland must have been spinning this today.
Okay.
This feels like an Ireland question.
An Ireland question? Okay.
I mean, I thought it was going to be
kind of
light.
a moral quandary sort of thing?
Yeah, it's a moral quandary.
Yeah.
All right? So I have this friend. And we've been talking.
It's called the Wheel of Stories. Okay, go ahead. You have a friend.
Okay, I have this friend.
Yep.
And she's been confiding in me for a long time about her relationship. That's what friends do. They talk about their relationship.
Yeah, right.
She loves this boyfriend of hers. They've been together a long time. She lives with him. But they don't have the house to themselves. Right? They live with his family and on.
Okay.
So for a long time, she's not happy.
Okay.
And she keeps saying to me, I gotta end this. I know myself. I'm gonna just stay in this for too long. He's not gonna change. We're not gonna get married. It's just been going on too long. It's been 1.5 years that she's been saying this to me.
So is it marriage that's the issue?
Marriage, your own place, your own life together. Okay? I've been listening. I'm trying to be a good friend.
Yeah.
I know him too.
Oh.
And I'm at the point now where if I have to hear this story one more time where she's going to say something, she's going to break up, she's going to do something to get this situation resolved, that I don't even want to hear about it anymore. Because you're clear. What would you do? Like, do you go and tell the boyfriend? Do you intervene? Do you do more than just be the supportive friend?
Do you tell the girl to dump him already, or do you tell the boyfriend to get serious?
An actor in this story.
Yeah.
How would you handle this?
Okay.
Any intervention is now an intervention, not just listening.
So who are you better friends with?
Definitely her.
Definitely her.
But I like him too.
I wouldn't say anything to the boyfriend.
Really?
No, I wouldn't say anything to the boyfriend. I would say to her, listen, you've got to pull the plug on it. You've been talking about pulling the plug on it. It seems like you should at least have a conversation about, hey, these are my expectations of this relationship. Here's where we're not now.
I've already kind of said you're going to have to just threaten to leave or give him a time frame. I've gone that far.
Well, honestly, that's what I would do. I'd say,
and then you leave it.
Now's the time. It's now or never. That's what she should say. It's now or never.
Okay.
Bergman, what do you think?
I think I would just say, look, I'm friends with you. I'm friends with your husband.
Yeah,
I
boyfriend.
can't. Boyfriend. Sorry. I don't think I can be involved with this anymore. I like you both, and I just can't be involved.
So you would not intervene more than just being the supportive friend.
Yeah, I would be the supportive friend, but I'd say but I can't be the supportive friend anymore because I'm friends with both of you.
Right.
And I'm going to separate myself from this.
Okay.
Boss Amanda?
I would say, I don't want to hear about it anymore. You're not taking my advice, so I'm done with this.
That's actually very, very
Yeah,
solid.
I mean, if you're not going to take my advice, then I don't want to hear you complain about it.
Yeah, stop whining. Stop whining.
Yeah.
Either do something or don't do something, but I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Okay.
That's actually pretty good. Jorge, what about you?
How about she starts looking for places and giving her options? Like, hey, listen, I found this place.
Yeah, that's good.
We can go there.
But don't you think that's sort of passive-aggressively
it's
trying
passive-aggressive.
to get him?
Well, right, but at the same time, she's like, look, dude, I've been telling, like, I want to tell you something. Like,
So none of you would actually say something to the boyfriend. Like, hey, come on, man.
No, you're better friends with her.
Yeah, I'm better friends with her.
No, it's not really, I don't know. That's you really getting in the middle
That's
of the
really getting
relationship.
involved.
Yeah.
Too
Not
much,
your
right?
Place.
No.
Yeah, not your place at all.
Don't want to be
Because
involved.
ultimately, that could end your relationship with one or both of them.
What if I hint at him? What if I just passive aggressively?
What if I
hint?
told you?
like Jewish grandma hint?
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
when are you gonna put a ring on the like that?
No. Again, I think you're intervening. You're putting your nose
stay out
into.
of it.
I want to intervene.
Yeah,
Stay
don't.
out of it.
I really want to.
No.
Don't get involved. Don't get involved
Okay.
in a relationship between two grown-ups.
You're right. I could have damaged the relationship with her.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, you could screw the whole thing up. So I think it's better not to be involved.
All right.
All right, there's your wheel of questions.
That was a very Ireland-style Real Housewives.
It was good. It was good. I
okay.
liked it. All right, so Bergman just pointed out that we've seen the article. Who was the headline? Is Ken Rosenthal.
Ken Rosenthal's article, yes.
Ken Rosenthal says Dodgers not interested in Carlos Correa. In fact, because a large portion of the fan base would be upset. So here's the issue with the Dodgers. And I said I went down this rabbit hole last night. So, first of all, Aaron Judge, actually what the Padres are doing is amazing, right? Because the Padres offered $400 million for Trey Turner. They apparently went to $400 million on Aaron Judge. Like, they just have money burning a hole in their pocket right now. So, they didn't get him. Obviously, Trey Turner went to Philly, and Aaron Judge is staying in New York. But I'm looking at it, and some other news. Kenley Jansen went to the Red Sox. Cody Bellinger
he
signed
got a 2-year deal, by the way.
Yeah, 2 years, $32, $16 million annual average value. Bellinger to the Cubs, $17.5 million. Dodgers out on Correa now. The Dodgers have lost Trey Turner to Philly, Tyler Anderson to the Angels, Andrew Heaney to the Rangers, Cody Bellinger to the Cubs, and they're approximately $70 million under the luxury tax threshold. In fact, Bergman, you pointed out to me that the Dodgers are 10th right now in terms of
10th.
what they have on the books for next year.
Right, at $180 million for $233 million luxury tax.
So Ken Rosenthal has also reported that Shohei Ohtani, who's going to be a free agent after next season, is going to be a top target for the Dodgers next year. And honestly, if you think about next winter, Ohtani's probably a $500 million player. And Juan Soto is probably a $500 million player. I think next year somebody is going to get $500 million.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that you have finally stumbled onto something, Mace.
Oh, wow. Took a long time, but I found something. Okay.
Everything the Dodgers are doing suggests that they are lining up for a Shohei Ohtani run. Like they're sitting out. They're getting under this tax now.
Right.
They're letting everyone go. They're not letting themselves even be used for leverage. And you haven't seen them being used for leverage in other players.
Right.
There was no, the Dodgers might be in on Aaron Judge. There was none of that. It's always the Padres now.
Right.
The Padres are the stalking horse.
But Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, and Dodgers are going to all be in on Shohei Ohtani. That means you've got to be willing to go to the wall on a long-term, $500 million deal for Shohei Ohtani. So,
and you got to be willing to let him pitch and hit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's why he's appealing at this point. So what if we come into actually, I'll hold this thought because we're right up against it. Hold this thought. I was kind of laying out what the Dodgers, hypothetical of what the Dodgers might look like this season and see how we feel about it. That's coming up next for you. Bobcat's next, and then we'll do that. I always forget Bobcat on a short show.
Well, yeah, it's a short show, so we have to do it early.
Bobcat,
we can do it at 2:15 if you want.
Hold Bobcat to 2:15.
Great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We'll do this Dodger thing, this Dodger hypothetical coming up next. Mason, Ireland.
During this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. Our Long Drive-a-thon event is taking place on Friday, December 9th at Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Linda. If you'd like to participate and support the Folds of Honor, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
During this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru partnering with Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural long drive event that's coming up this Friday. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. The event's Friday. Me and Cappy broadcasting live from Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Linda. If you want to participate, purchase a green fee, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. And special thanks to our partners, Johnny O, Meat District, and Travis Matthew. All right, so I was doing this Dodger hypothetical.
Yeah.
So out on Correa, according to Nightingale, a lot of the Rosenthal, sorry about that. We want to make sure we get that right. And a lot of the big premier free agents have signed. So the Dodgers are well under the luxury tax threshold and apparently targeting Shohei Ohtani for next winter at this time, which could cost $500 million. So what if the Dodgers do this? Sign Kevin Kiermaier to play center field.
Oh, that's an Andrew Friedman special.
Leave Gavin Lux at short.
Okay.
And use Evan Phillips at closer. I shouldn't say all internal options, but Kevin Kiermaier is a center fielder who plays well defensively.
Kiermaier was from Tampa Bay, right?
Tampa Bay, and then went to the Yankees this past year.
Right. Okay.
So he's a guy that you would have as a defensive player. I think he batted .230 or something this year. Lux at short, Phillips at closer, and that's it. No splashy moves.
So,
how do we feel about that?
I think I'm okay with it.
You are.
The Dodgers have good minor league. Like when Vargas came up last year, he was really good.
Right.
You have Outman, right?
Yeah, James Outman.
I keep wanting to call him Jake. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is James.
James Outman. I mean, they have good young players, and maybe they're not the same as Trey Turner. But Gavin Lux did well. He had that little back injury. I'm curious how his back is.
Right.
That's always a little scary when you have a middle infielder. But they have good young players in that farm system that can play.
Well,
and I thought Evan Phillips was the best closer they had anyway.
Yeah, this may be the year, and this is to your point, this may be the year that they start to integrate younger players into their roster. I mean, they didn't trade them for a reason. The guys specifically, I read a big piece yesterday, Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone would be pitchers potentially breaking in this year. We've seen a little bit of those guys. And then Miguel Vargas, Michael Busch, and James Outman would they're poised potentially to contribute next year. I guess at some point the young guys got to play. So is this a year where the Dodgers say, we're going with the young guys, we're staying under the luxury tax threshold, and then we're going for Ohtani next year?
The roster.
I mean, they can be opportunistic. They can still, I mean, you can let the market play out for Xander Bogaerts. You can let the market play out for Carlos Rodon. Like they can still try to get in there if they like any of those deals. But they have a good, deep system. And I don't know, the one thing that I'm going to remember from the winter meetings, okay, Dave Roberts did a press conference the other day.
Right.
Somebody asked him about the intensity in the dugout. Do you think the other team wanted it more when they lost? Like, why did you lose to the Padres?
Right.
Did you think they just wanted it more? And Dave Roberts said, well, you're never going to say somebody wanted it more than you, but it did seem like there was more intensity coming from the other dugout. That's a truth. That is a statement.
Right. Well, the Padres, the whole little brother, we don't get to the playoffs. I mean, I think...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the ways you fix that is bring up some young kids.
That are hungry?
Yeah, and that are happy to be
fight,
there. Yeah.
Scrapping. I'm here to play.
I mean, they clearly, I mean, for a manager to admit that, to say, I mean, he didn't say, you're not going to say that somebody wanted more, but there was more intensity coming from the other dugout.
Right.
That's a hell of a statement.
Bergman, what do you think? What if they do go easy this year?
So I think we all forget that they're still a really good team, even if you do go with some of those younger guys. I mean, you lose Turner, right? But for the most part, you still have Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and you still have a really good Will Smith is one of the best catchers in baseball.
Probably re-sign JT to a
exactly. You still have Max Muncy, who'll probably play second or third base. I think there's and this pitching staff is still a really good pitching staff. Julio Urias is one of the best pitchers in the game period. Kershaw's still back. You still have Tony Gonsolin. You still Dustin May's going to be off of his Tommy John. He's going to be much better. And you're going to find some other guy off the scrap heap that's going to come in. Shelby Miller was probably going to pitch fantastically like Tyler Anderson did. I think we forget that this is still a very, very good team, even if they don't go out and get anybody else, which I do think they will.
I think they will, but I think it's a little bit like we say I think it's going to be along the margins. I don't think we're going to see a big – because there is no big splashy move left.
Right. I mean, it's Xander Bogaerts.
I guess Bogaerts is the one guy.
Rodon.
Do you count that as splashy?
Carlos Rodon would be big.
I count Bogaerts as big, and I count Rodon as big.
Yeah, those two are very, very possible.
Yeah, those are the ones. Now, Bogaerts, I heard, is all over – Arizona's all over.
I think that got pushed off yesterday.
Did it get pushed off?
Yeah, that they will not be in on –
I like the winter meetings because all this stuff starts floating to the top.
Yeah.
It's
Why
very
would
interesting.
Arizona be? Don't they have some great prospect they just called up last year at shortstop?
No, I think they were playing Nick Ahmed at short.
They were playing Nick
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
He's not that good.
Not good at all.
Okay.
All right, so that's what I think Dodger fans need to be prepared for, is the fact that this is not the year we signed the big, bold, splashy free agent.
Yeah, they did that with Freddie Freeman last year.
But that doesn't mean that they're not going to do anything at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's say. And they're going to be good enough that they'll be right there at the top with the Padres because the Giants are going to fall off a little bit. The Diamondbacks are no good. The Rockies are no good. So they'll still be right there at the top.
Diamondbacks and Rockies are terrible.
Right. So they'll still be right there at the top. If they make a little tweak here and there, they're probably going to make the playoffs, especially with the expanded playoffs. And then we've seen what happens once you get in. I just don't think it's time, just because we haven't signed the big name right now, that we should start freaking out a little bit.
I'm not freaking out.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying
you are.
Be prepared for it.
Right.
I think this is the reality.
Still a really good team.
Maybe a year we see Vargas and Outman and Bush, and we don't see the big splashy. We don't steal the headlines this year.
I get that the minors are the minors, but James Outman had back-to-back cycles.
Well, James Outman came up and hit 400 in 2 weeks with
right,
us.
and made some amazing catches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could really step in. Miguel Vargas is supposed to be one of their best players that they have down there. Michael Bush is supposed to be great. You mentioned all these guys. Like Bobby Miller is a great pitcher that's supposed to come up soon. There's a lot that's going to be really good next year.
Okay, let me pivot to this. And we got Bobcat coming up for you here in a couple of minutes. Of course, Lakers basketball is tonight in Toronto. 4:30 is tip-off. 3 o'clock is pregame with Slee and Michael Thompson, of course. No LeBron and no AD, by the way, tonight. As Momo said, scheduled loss. Yeah. Okay, so I came across this list. Now, I'm a huge movie fan, right?
Yeah.
Crazy movie fan. I see everything. So I came across this list from Sight and Sound magazine. And these are 639 critics, programmers, curators, archivists, academics, each submitting their top 10 ballot. What happened is there are lots of weird choices on here. So, because it's critics, right?
Yeah.
So, they're all they want their fancy movies in there. But some movies do show up that we've come to believe are the best of all time. For you, Momo, what is, if I told you what movie is the best movie of all time for you, what would you say?
I'm not good at these.
You don't have a single movie pops into your head?
I mean, a lot of them pop into my head, but I like a lot of movies.
Nothing. You can't give an answer?
Give me multiple choice.
No, I'm not giving you multiple. Bergman.
I'm not good at these.
Pick movies of movies I like.
I'm not good at these.
I think Dazed and Confused is the best movie.
Dazed and Confused.
I love that movie
Probably
so much.
It's a great choice.
Some Godfather. I don't know.
You're not.
I'm not a ranking list person. You name a movie, I'll be like, yeah, I like that one.
Okay, Jorge, how about you?
Anything from Nolan, like Inception's a good one.
Oh, Christopher Nolan's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Anything from Scorsese.
Yeah,
Goodfellas.
Scorsese has a
Goodfellas
couple
is
on
the
these
one.
lists.
Yeah.
What about you, Boss Amanda?
So my favorite is Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
So
I love
good.
that movie. I love crime movies. Silence of the Lambs is one
I
of my
can't watch
all-time
scary
favorite
things.
Mandalorian in the
movies.
Manskin. Mandalorian in the Manskin.
I can't watch scary movies.
It is such a.
I watched Silence of the Lambs when I was a little kid, And I think that was the one that broke me. Like I was like, nope, no, not anymore.
That
too scary.
That in the basement scene with the night vision goggles and the moths flying around. Oh, sign me up for that.
I don't know. I mean, like everyone always says Citizen Kane. I don't know if I watched it. What I think.
Have you seen Citizen Kane?
I think so.
Well, then that's not your favorite movie.
It's not. There's
think
favorite and best.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Like,
what is your favorite movie?
I don't know.
Back to the Future trilogy.
Back to the Future. The whole.
I watch
trilogy.
The Princess Bride every time it's on. I really love that.
Princess Bride is a classic.
Gladiator.
Close to a perfect
Gladiator,
movie.
yeah.
Sleepers.
I really like
Sleepers?
Princess Bride. Yeah.
Sleepers is hardcore.
I watch Clueless a lot. I've seen Clueless.
Yeah, I don't know if
Legally Blonde.
Favorite, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Bend and Snap, all that.
Favorite and best are two different things.
very different things.
Yeah. Okay.
We watch Love Actually every year on
Are you?
Christmas.
We have a Love Actually date scheduled.
Yeah.
Shall We Dance with Richard Gere and J-Lo?
Wow, that's
he
a
watched
weird
it last
pull.
night. That's why.
I do like Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing is
Yeah.
a great movie.
I
Is it
like
Footloose?
Luna, yeah.
How about Footloose?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love how
My
it's turned
era.
into just movies we like.
Yeah.
These are movies we like. I don't know
Okay.
what's the
So
best
what's
movie.
actually on the list?
Okay,
What's
so
like
here
the
we-
top 10?
Here we go. Some of these movies you've never heard of. So I'm just going to give you the ones
Got
that
it.
you've heard of from the top 100. So this shows you how fancy and highfalutin these people are. The number one movie of all time, according to all these 1,600 critics and archive, all that
Shape
stuff.
of Water.
No. Jean Dielman, 23 Quai du Commerce, 1080 Brussels.
What?
That's the name of a movie.
That's the number one
That
movie
is the
of
number
all
one.
time.
No,
Is
I've
that
never-
an English-speaking movie?
I doubt it. I've never heard
Brussels
of
in
it.
That's
it, too.
annoying.
French movie.
Yeah.
Is it a French movie?
Yeah.
Did you look
You
it
don't
up?
know what you're
Yeah,
talking.
right
You're
here.
like, you're
Oh,
just,
you looked it up?
No.
So
people-
this clearly includes international films
Yes, it does.
as well. Okay.
So here are the ones we know about. I'm not going to read all of them. Number 2, Vertigo. Great movie. Number 3, Citizen Kane. There's your Citizen
Yeah,
Kane.
everybody always says
Does that
that.
hold up?
I don't know.
Citizen Kane?
Yes,
It does.
it absolutely does. I don't want to spoil it.
I mean,
There's a spoiler there
okay.
for all.
I know the spoiler. I, don't
think
even know if I've seen
everybody
the
in
movie,
the
but I know
world
the
It's
knows
spoiler.
only been 90 years.
Yeah. It's like saying what happens at the end of Fight Club. Oh, don't
Yeah. Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Fight
that's a
Club.
spoiler.
Kicking his own ass. Yeah, that's a
Hey, don't say it.
All right. Number
Spoiler.
6, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Number 8, Mulholland Drive. Have you ever seen that?
That movie's
Oh,
crazy.
that's a good movie.
Crazy.
I
Love
like
that
that movie.
Number 12 is The Godfather.
Yeah,
Come
The
on.
Godfather should be up there.
Only number 12 for
It
The
should be up
Godfather?
there. That should be top 5.
Apocalypse Now, number 19. Do the Right Thing, number 24. Psycho, number 31.
It's too scary.
Blade Runner, number 54. Which
old movies.
I find, well, it's, history, right? It's a bunch of historian people. So Blade Runner was a bomb when it came out.
Really?
And I'm telling you, if you go look at Blade Runner now, it looks like LA Live. The gigantic video boards and all that stuff that were just in Ridley Scott's imagination, you all of a sudden see all over town.
Didn't you have to get the director's cut to actually make it a good movie? There was 2 different versions of it, wasn't there?
Blade Runner kills.
Yeah.
That movie kills. You know? Goodfellas, number 63. The Shining, number 88. Get Out, number 95.
Wow, that made a list.
Yeah, Get Out, number
Really
95
good.
on the
Pulp
all-time
Fiction.
greatest movies.
Pulp Fiction should be up there.
Pulp Fiction's great.
That was good.
Totally
Should
love it.
absolutely be in there.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Days
So
and
anyway,
Confuses got screwed.
that's what some fancy
Yeah.
people think. Greatest movies of all time. For me, it doesn't change. Chinatown.
That's all right, Jake. It's Chinatown. Right?
Don't worry, Jake. It's Chinatown.
You know, I've never seen it.
Oh, come on.
No.
Yeah,
that's
I've
it.
actually seen Chinatown.
I've never.
Oh, it's if you love LA, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
to see.
Does it hold up? Is always my
Holds
question.
up. I've watched it. I
you
watched
love
it
it. It's your
last
favorite
year.
movie. You have a poster of it.
It's
in your
always
house.
really.
I do.
It's a total bummer to me when I watch old movies that just don't hold up anymore. Breakfast Club doesn't hold up.
No, feels weird
Yeesh.
now. Feels
Yeah.
weird now. Yeah.
You know that whole Molly Ringwald thing. She's right. Then there was Hoosiers. Didn't hold up like I thought it. I was like, man, this movie's so good.
Jimmy Chitwood.
It just wasn't that good. I love
So
Hoosiers.
you know that was Chinatown was the password for my Grubhub account.
It was.
Oh.
You didn't know it, Momo?
Never figured it out until Michael Thompson asked John Ireland, "Does it have anything to do with movies?" And John said yes, and I said, "Oh, damn, it's Chinatown." And sure enough, it was.
You know what my favorite part about that whole thing was when Andy Kamenetsky was here.
Yeah.
You asked me a question. You said, "Oh, does it have to do with the Lakers?" And I said, "No." And then you guys stopped asking questions and just started talking about movies in Chinatown. immediately after.
And
right afterward.
Here's the weird thing, Momo. So Chinatown was the password I was trying to figure out on Grubhub, and I was doing the show from home. I think this was last week.
Okay. Yeah,
and
you were.
I was doing those, and so
I was here by myself.
I literally have a poster, a Chinatown poster, hanging directly in front of where I was doing the show. The entire time I was guessing, it was right in my face.
The thing about passwords is once you type it in, your phone stores it. So you don't know your password.
Right, but in this case, Ireland is the one that put in the password, and I had to guess what the password was.
Got it.
So I finally did figure it out.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right, coming up next for you, Bobcat. Bergman's going to throw a bunch of stuff at us. Mason, Ireland, 7-10.
Corporate Greg. But now it is time for that Bobcat. Bobcat. It's time for Bobcat. Bobcat. Bobcat time. Take it away, Corporate Greg.
Corporate Greg.
Thanks a lot, Chris and Amanda. I really like the Bobcat song. The Year of the Cat.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It gets very sticky.
You know whose song that is?
I have no
think
idea.
It's Al Stewart is the guy that did that song.
I had no idea who that was.
Only Chris Morales would remember Al Stewart.
That was the thing. Like, how does he come up with that song?
Because he grew up in a family with a DJ who played everything.
That's true. All right, so Draymond Green was fined $25,000 the other day for yelling obscene language at a fan. The fan saw that he was fined and tweeted this, @Money23Green, I'm the guy you yelled at. Shouldn't be like that. We were just having fun. I'll match the $25K to your favorite charity or NBA cares. Your call, let me know. What do you think of this exchange, and what should the NBA do in this situation?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know exactly what was yelled. Momo, do you know what was yelled?
No, I don't.
With Draymond Green? I mean,
obscene language.
Obscene language. Okay, so $25,000. I guess to Draymond Green is not a lot of money. At the same time, I love the fact that this guy came back and said, hey, it shouldn't be like that. I'll make a $25,000 donation in your name or whatever that is. I mean, that's a cool way for a fan. I just don't know. The fans said something to piss off Draymond Green, right?
I mean, he had to have.
For Draymond Green to go back at him like this.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so...
He wasn't just sitting there quietly.
So the fan is not innocent in this, but he's making the best of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a strong move to do that. But I just think, like, if you and the fan are in agreement on something, maybe the NBA should be like, all right, if you guys are like this, then that's fine. We shouldn't...
Right.
You know, maybe lessen it. I don't know.
Momo, you in on this conversation?
Yeah. I think it's a good thing because it shows some accountability from the fan.
Yeah, that's right.
Because a lot of fans go to the games and they just yell things and you're yelling them at like disembodied people that you don't think have feelings and have real consequences.
Yes.
So I like that there's some accountability. Like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, or I caused it. We're just having fun. That's a lot of money though.
$25,000.
It's kind of a lot of money. Like
that's a high roller.
It's almost like the NBA pressed charges and the fan was like, I don't want you to press charges. Right? I mean.
Right.
Draymond's not allowed to go back at the fan that way. I mean, I guess that's the rules. You got to be careful what you say.
But, I mean, whatever this guy said, and he's a high roller, he's down low, he's close enough for Draymond Green to hear him. For me, accountability is a good way to describe
I like accountability.
He's like, you know what? I shouldn't have yelled. I will donate $25,000 to NBA Cares or whatever that is. So good for this guy who was apparently a jackass at the moment.
I kind of get embarrassed when I see people act that badly. Games. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I think it's too much. I think a lot of the time it's too much.
Like, it's okay to boo or to clap or to cheer or yell things.
The personal stuff, I never get.
Way too much.
Understand.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
What's up, Foo?
Oh, thank you, Maite.
Maite!
All right, so I sent you guys a video, and this is happening. It's a press conference. Vinny Jr. from Brazil is talking to the media, and there's a cat on the table.
All right.
Momo, you're a cat person.
Yes.
A staff member from the Brazilian team gets the cat and tosses him off the table.
Whoa!
You guys are pets people. So if somebody did this to your
Let me watch this.
How would you react?
Let
me watch this.
Yeah. I'll post it on Twitter.
That's terrible.
You guys can react to it.
I would say, is it a coach that throws the cat?
He's just a staff. He's not a coach. He's just he's probably the PR guy.
Wow. Momo, you're a cat person. I don't know what...
Mine's not loading, but bad optics. That's terrible. Like, you can set the cat down nicely.
Right, you can pick the cat up and set it down.
Yeah.
He grabbed it by the scruff of its back and threw it on the ground.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, terrible look. I mean, I'm not a big cat person.
Should there be a fine? Yeah.
I mean, the cat's going to land on its feet. I don't know how they do it, but they always land on their feet.
Yeah, they do land on their feet, and I'm sure that's part of. But I mean, no, throwing the cat is totally not cool.
Yeah, I know you guys are pet people, so
especially like how high was he throwing him from?
I don't know, just a table.
Yeah, he's on the press table and he threw him down.
But the fact he just tosses the cat like that.
I mean, it literally takes like an extra 4 seconds to set him down.
I'm going to show it to you because it keeps repeating on my computer.
Okay. Let's see.
There you go.
It hasn't repeated yet.
It's not even playing.
It's not even playing.
Okay.
You got to hit the play button, Mace. That's how this works.
Let me see.
Hell with it.
Yeah, forget it.
Basically, he takes the cat and he throws it off the table.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What's up, Foo?
What's up, fool?
Yeah, it's bad.
All right, it's my turn.
Oh,
Yeah, I get to participate today. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys have seen this or not, but Indonesian lawmakers passed a sweeping criminal code on Tuesday that criminalizes sex outside of marriage. And that also applies to foreign residents and tourists.
Tourists?
What in the world?
Yes.
Who is going to go to
Exactly.
Indonesia?
That's
And
Bali.
see, that's what they're afraid now that it's going to affect tourism.
Of course it. I mean, if you're single,
My thing
you
is,
can't
but how
go
do
there.
you if you're going to visit, right? How do they?
Have you been to Bali? Because
Is Bali
Indonesia?
So Bali, you're not allowed to sleep with somebody unless you're married.
Yeah, the new code, which also applies to foreign residents and tourists, bans cohabitation before marriage.
I don't get it.
well.
I don't understand it. If you really want people to come, by the way, this goes for Qatar. Here's what I know about Qatar. I know they did this World Cup because they want people to come. Hey, look, come visit Qatar. I know that they don't like gay people. I know that if you're single, you're not supposed to sleep with anybody. I know they don't sell beer. It's like, what kind of tourism ad is that? Who wants to go to Indonesia if? I mean, obviously, if you're single, you can't go because you're not allowed to. I mean, I'm stunned that still exists.
I mean, I just Bali, where I have been, it is. I mean, there are some families there that go on vacation there, but for the most part, it's like every single person from Australia
Well, but
goes
also,
to
my thing
Bali
is, like, how
on
are
their
you,
walkabout.
How are you
know?
going to enforce it, right? Say that,
Come
I'm
on,
dating
man.
somebody, right?
Yeah.
And we go to Bali on vacation and we check into the same room. Are they not going to allow us to check into the same room?
Oh, in other words, when they take your
Like
IDs
how-
or your
Y'all wearing
passports.
rings?
Yeah, like how are they going to determine that
Yeah, if the passport doesn't have the same last name.
But there's
I'm
still
married, I don't
people
have the
that-
same last name as my husband.
exactly.
Yeah,
So how do you enforce that when it comes to foreigners and
I've got
tourists?
no idea how you enforce it at all. I guess it's just sending a message, but what a message to send if you want people to come and visit your country.
Clearly, they don't.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to keep people out.
keep
Yeah.
people away.
I
Going
know.
to hotels and knocking door to door. Just,
Yeah.
hey,
There's
just
a
making
real
sure.
lot of
Nothing
really
going on
nice
in there.
hotels.
You two kids married?
I need to see the marriage certificate.
Don't see any rings on
Yeesh.
your fingers.
Where are the rings? Yeah, no, that's
Sorry, you can't share a room.
that is just. I mean, that's backwards, right? That's
Yeah.
completely bad. And I don't know why anybody would go visit
a place
there
like that.
Now, does that mean
You have quite a few options if you want to go to that part of the world. I mean, you can go to Thailand, you can go to Bali, like, you can get a lot of different islands in there. Malaysia is around there.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, I
Borneo.
don't. I think it's unenforceable. I don't think you can possibly enforce it. But it does send a message to
Yeah.
me: don't ever go to Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Bobcat.
You want one more or you want a break?
Yeah, one more.
All right, so BBC News put this out on Instagram was where I saw it, but it says Chat GPT was publicly released today, but already has over 1 million users, according to those behind the project. It's an AI chatbot capable of engaging in a human-like way in text conversations online. The prototype, which actually has Elon Musk as one of its founders, was opened
I'm
up
out.
to interact with users with aim of furthering its development. Are you interested in using Chat GPT to have a conversation with a bot?
No, listen. I like the idea that something is going to become self-aware that you can actually have a conversation with, but this is just a bot that you're talking to. By the way, if you do the customer service window and they say, "Do you want to chat about this?" Is that a bot or is that a person?
Don't
That's
look
a bot.
behind these curtains.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elon. But no, yeah, it's a bot. It
So,
starts off
like,
a bot and then
if
it
I'm
sends
having
you
trouble
to
with
someone.
Apple and they say, "Oh, our virtual assistant can help you," is that a bot?
That is a bot until you answer their questions, and then they send you to somebody that can answer.
Yeah,
those
I mean, there's something. This is just
It's so
weird and
annoying.
impersonal. Yeah.
And very rarely do they ever give you the right answer. Like every time I get those automated replies, it's never something helpful.
No.
You
Yeah,
know,
no-
FAQs.
no interest. By the way,
very
I'm-
rarely is it.
I'm. You had me at Elon Musk. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm out.
Also,
Don't look behind these curtains.
Yeah.
also,
Wizard of Oz.
whenever you're not sure what they're selling is
Sure.
you. So
Yeah.
whenever you're like,
You're
if it's-
giving them your
I know
data.
what they're selling.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you don't you like to chat, you like to talk, but you don't have a lot of people to chat with, or they're all busy.
Well, now
You
we're
have
in that
someone
movie
to
with
talk to.
Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Yes,
What
yes.
is it?
Her.
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he like falls in love
One
with it.
step
He
away.
falls in love with his virtual assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. There is your Bobcat for today. Coming up next, they've named the Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. Have you seen who it is?
I do know who that is.
Okay. Pretend you don't.
Okay.
I have no idea. Also, what are the top 10 streaming services for 2022? That's coming up next for you. Hey, look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people And neither is LeBron. They're in Toronto. And, Momo, you used the term scheduled loss. We're going to see a lot of bench players. And yeah. It's not over.
You know what, though? Westbrook's still playing?
Yeah, Westbrook's still playing.
That's the thing you always say about Russ. He always plays.
Yeah. So that's tonight. We got the game for you at 5 o'clock today. 3:30. 3 o'clock starts pregame. Actually, I got that totally wrong. Tip-off is at 4:30, and pregame starts in 30 minutes. All right, so Steph Curry has been named the Sports Person of the Year by Sports Illustrated. Momo, he had a big year.
Yeah.
He won his 4th championship. He finally won Finals MVP. He graduated, went back and got his degree from Davidson after 13 years.
Yeah.
He expanded his charitable reach since 2019. The Eat, Learn, Play Foundation he and Aisha founded has served more than 25 million meals to food-insecure kids.
That's good.
He spent $2.5 million on literacy-focused grants and distributed 500,000 books, according to Curry's representatives. He's also provided seed funding for men's and women's golf teams at Howard University, a historically black university, and started the Underrated Golf Tour, a junior circuit designated to make the game more inclusive. He is, by the way, not even done. He is co-chair of Michelle Obama's When We All Vote initiative, and now he is the Sports Person of the Year. You know Steph a little bit. This was a significant year in his life and in his career.
He is, he is actually a real person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you talk to him, whenever I talk to Steph, he always asks me how my kids are.
Right.
It's not fake. Oh, I should ask her about and we'll talk about his kids. He's a real person. When he calls you, it's like talking to a real person. There's not a lot of superstar air about him, even though it's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's just like a normal guy. You talk to him like a normal guy.
He's one of the most likable superstars. Even just watch game, watch the smile, all that stuff.
A lot of superstars have an air about them.
Yes.
Almost unapproachable in a way. Or they seem larger than life to the point. Aaron Judge seems larger than life to me.
Yeah.
LeBron, quite a bit larger than life. Kevin Durant, larger than life. Giannis to me is a down to earth guy though. He seems like you can talk to him and have a normal conversation.
We played that clip yesterday. It's very funny.
But there's something about Steph that he's a very relatable everyday guy, but he also seems to be a very this is so Oprah of me. I'm sorry. I have Oprah on the brain.
Here we go.
But he has a very he seems to do things very intentionally. He's like, okay, I care about voting rights. I care about serving underage youth who are interested in golf. I care about literacy. And he sets up a foundation and hires people to go do that.
Right.
So that he can do things that are very intentional. I don't know how he has time for all that. Every time I'm up there, amazing. I'm always like, how do you do all this, man? I'm super busy and I can't even barely get I drive to work with my hair out the window so I can dry it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm like, what? I don't even have time to get ready half the time. And he's doing all that.
Yeah, congratulations. It's deserved. I can't even think of who else would be on the list.
Well, let's think. Aaron Judge, probably.
Oh, Aaron Judge would be there, yeah.
Broke a bunch of records.
Yep.
But what about football? Who won last year? Who could win it? Rams.
Rams won.
Yeah,
but I don't think, especially not after what's happened.
No.
We're 3-9 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone. Soccer? No.
No.
Wouldn't be boxing either.
No.
MMA?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think Steph and Aaron Judge would be,
Yeah, those are the two guys.
Yeah. It's weird. He went back and got his degree at Davidson. I did not graduate from Bowling Green with my graduating class.
You're a year later or a year before?
Or
not at all?
I went back and got it 5 years
5 years later?
Yeah, 5 years later.
What'd you have to do?
I had to do an independent study program to get my last 6 credits, 2 different projects I had to do. I was 6 credits short.
How's that happen? Did you just not do a class? You drop a class?
Dropped a class.
Dropped a class or two?
To have some fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I was doing morning drive radio the whole time.
Already, so you're like, I don't need this.
So I was loaded. But at the end, it just bugged me that it was like
it would bother me too.
Stuck in the back of my brain that I came so close to having a degree, and nobody in my family has ever gotten a college degree.
Yeah.
So they were relying on me. So I went back 5 years later and got the degree.
When you say you were loaded, were you talking about had a lot of money because you're doing Radio.
I was doing radio. I was doing radio. I was
Were
like
you
the
loaded.
No. I was doing radio. I was president of the interfraternity.
Oh, you had a lot going on.
I had a lot going on.
Oh, you weren't loaded.
No, my schedule was
Oh,
completely
got
loaded.
it.
I was not loaded, as I am today. All right. So I wanted to do this one last thing, and then Jacob is going to come in with Game of Games, and it's Momo's game today. I'm not hearing that. Is that okay? All right. Top
Hit it
10
again, hit it again.
streaming. Here we go. Top 10 streaming services for 2022. You guys all get to call them out. You'll get the order of them
Is this based on subscribers?
based on subscribers.
Got it.
What do you think is number one? Just see if anybody gets number one.
Apple Plus.
No.
Amazon.
Yes.
That's
Prime
a good
Video.
guess. Yeah.
Because we all get
Because
it.
everyone has Amazon.
Yeah, if you have Prime, then you've got Amazon.
Yeah.
So
I
Prime
think-
is
I
number
think
one.
Probably like 150 million.
I would say Hulu would be next.
Hulu is third. That's a good guess. By the way, the one Momo mentioned.
Apple Plus.
Apple Plus is
Lower.
number 8.
Really?
Not,
Yeah.
not a lot of people have it.
And
like
not a lot
Amanda
of-
doesn't have Apple Plus.
It
There's
doesn't
not
come
a-
through on your when you get an iPhone. You don't get a free subscription.
No. There are and there
Oh.
are not a lot of shows aside from the morning show. I
Ted
don't-
Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Severance is on that.
The MLS is coming.
Who's that?
MLS.
Oh, MLS
Strictly
is coming to
Apple,
Apple. Right, that's right.
Mm.
Show 'em
Okay,
watching
who else?
something. I can't
So
think.
Prime is number 1.
Number 2, possibly Netflix.
Netflix is number 2. Yes.
So 3 was Hulu. 4 would be
HBO Max.
yeah.
HBO Max number 5.
Peacock.
Peacock number 9.
So 4 would be what else do I have here?
Where do we work?
ESPN.
ESPN.
Plus.
Okay,
Disney
you
Plus,
said
Disney
both.
Plus.
of them.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is 4 and ESPN Plus is 6.
Okay.
What are we
So
missing?
far
7?
we've got Prime Video, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, ESPN Plus. The others are Paramount Plus is number 7. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Does
There's
any-
more people who have Paramount Plus than Apple Plus.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, you get South Park on Paramount Plus.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm trying to think what else you get. Don't you get
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is on Paramount Plus, isn't it? People love Momo or Boss Amanda,
Amanda
loves
I know
Yellowstone.
people are into that.
They're trying to make it a whole universe.
Well,
now.
no, there's a new one coming out called I think it's 1923 or something about
Yeah.
the early founding of Montana and all that stuff. And the others
Fox?
no, Fox doesn't have Paramount Plus 7.
I watch it.
Apple TV Plus is 8. Peacock number 9, and then who knew? Stars. Number
Stars.
10. I
What's on
can't
Stars.
can't think of
What's
anything
the Stars
watched
show
on
that
Stars.
we need to start watching?
Any Stars show. I can't think of a single Star show.
I think I could. Survivor's Remorse.
Oh, was that the LeBron show
LeBron one,
about?
yeah. And then there was another one.
These Stars shows.
Sasha, I know his name. Sasha Penn. He
Ghost?
does this.
Power Book 2, Ghost,
The guy. Hold on,
Serpent
I'm gonna
Queen?
find his name. Hold on.
Gaslit, no,
Gaslit. I did watch Gaslit.
Hightown,
No, don't know that.
Shining Veil,
No, I think so.
Dangerous
That's
Liaison.
this is why it's number 10.
Force Book 4.
Yeah, no, just
Raising
naming
Canaan.
shows.
Raising Canaan.
Yeah, no, don't know that.
No.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything.
Does anybody
Is
know
it
anything?
drama? I don't
Stars.
know.
They might as
Power.
well
Oh, Power's on Stars.
fold
Power
up.
is a huge
Oh,
Yeah,
Power
Power.
is a big show.
Power.
That's right.
Yeah.
Power's a big
American
show.
Gods.
How many of
Magic
these
City,
do you actually have?
I have.
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's
all
go
right.
through them. Let's go through them. I want to see what everybody has. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, does Prime Video?
Yes.
Yes, Bergman.
Yes, I have Prime Video. Yeah,
Jorge?
The Boys is on that.
I
It's
do
a
not
great
know.
Show.
Whoa.
Jorge does not.
I don't have Prime Video.
All right. Let's see. Number 2, Netflix. Does
Yes.
everybody have Netflix?
Yes.
Sure. Jorge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix.
Of course, Netflix. Netflix is getting better. I'm watching the Crown is on there right
Oh,
now,
I binged that.
which is great.
So, yeah.
Which is great. All right.
afternoon.
Apple Plus.
Good afternoon, miss.
Apple Plus.
Yes.
Yes, that's on Apple.
I
Plus.
also have it. Yes.
Yeah.
What about Disney Plus?
Yes.
Of course, we
Oh,
get the
yeah.
bundle. Hulu.
There's a lot of great stuff on it. Anyway.
Hulu's awesome
Yeah.
now too.
Yeah, I watch
Hulu's
Hulu
got
also.
great stuff. ESPN Plus.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Paramount Plus. I think I might be alone in that.
No,
I don't think I have that.
I got it to watch South Park.
You watch old South Park?
No, there's new ones.
There's new ones?
Yeah, they're
South
still
Park now
making 'em.
goes direct to Paramount Plus.
Direct
It's
to
not
Paramount
on
Plus.
MTV
And they actually
anymore.
have a whole thing where they're making fun of the streaming wars, and they're making fun of actually having to be on Paramount Plus. It's amazing.
in the show.
In the show, the whole show is about how they
Those
got
guys are
screwed
genius.
over by being on Paramount Plus.
You know, I find it really hard to watch animated TV. I don't know why. Like, The Simpsons has been on for
Ever.
48 years.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not exaggerating by that much. I think it may be 34 years. It's at least 30 years for The Simpsons. Watched maybe the first season, then I was like,
Yeah.
South Park, I watched maybe the first season or one where everybody talks about it.
So funny.
For some reason,
Yeah.
cartoon shows I don't watch. I'll go see animated movies, but I won't go see. Speaking of which, the Avatar 2: The Way of Water got screened officially for critics? It's 3.5 hours long.
Too long.
The reviews are through the roof great.
Do you trust the critics though?
Unanimous. Like everybody's like, it's the most amazing technology you've ever seen.
Who's James Cameron, right?
James Cameron, yeah.
James Cameron. How much do you think James Cameron paid all these critics to say it was so
I don't believe
great?
James Cameron is buying off critics. No, I do not believe that's
I don't
right.
trust critics when it
Will
comes
you
to that.
will
I
you
trust
go
the
see
audience.
it? Will you go see it if it's the zeitgeist? If everybody's going to see it?
I mean, I'll probably end up seeing it.
We should
'cause
go
I like
together.
the first one.
We should go together.
We should go together.
Yeah. They say see it in 3D.
Well, yeah, that's what they did in the first one. How much more could they have done to 3D to make it that much better
Apparently,
than what it was before?
it looks so much. It looks
I mean, things come out of
absolutely
the
amazing.
screen. I don't know what else we're trying to do.
Are
here.
you in on going to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. All right, coming up next for you is Game of Games. It's Momo's game today, and our friend Jacob Emrani.
During this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military and first responders. Our Long Drive-a-thon event is taking place on Friday, December 9th at Black Gold Golf Club in Yorba Linda. If you'd like to participate and support the Folds of Honor, go to blackgoldgolf.com. That's blackgoldgolf.com. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, it is Game of Games time, and we sprawl 2 countries today. Jacob and Ronnie, me and Momo here in Los Angeles. And John Ireland now joins us from Toronto, Canada. What's going on, John?
What's going on, people? How are you?
Everything is good. What's the what kind of weather you dealing with there?
It's in the 40s. It's going to drop into the 30s tonight.
Sounds like it could be worse, right?
Oh, yeah. Could be. Well, I'm a little disappointed that LeBron and AD aren't playing.
Yeah, I know.
You know, this is a kind of a mail-it-in game, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so it's Momo's game today, and it's going to be
Excellent.
me, Jacob, John, and Jorge, and Bergman. And Momo, what kind of game do we got
Okay,
going
so
today?
in honor of where the team you are playing, the mascot of the team you are playing tonight, John, we have a little dinosaur trivia.
Oh, I love dinosaurs.
Little dinosaur
Do you know
trivia.
dinosaurs?
I don't.
Oh, no. Well, it's multiple choice.
The truth is, you don't really have to know.
Okay.
Okay, because
there we go.
you probably would have, but I reconfigured the game because I was originally I did a little dinosaur Jeopardy.
Okay.
And then I realized that was probably gonna be too hard. You have to be a super nerd like Bergman. to
Mason,
get those.
Stegosaurus.
I'm a massive
Okay?
nerd. I'm
So
totally
I've
fine with that, too.
reconfigured this to a multiple choice.
Okay,
so
good. That's
you got a
probably
1
for
in
the
4
best.
chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes even 1 in 3. All right,
Love
ready?
it. Love it.
Number 1. How long were the arms of an average Tyrannosaurus Rex? A, 3 feet. B, 5 feet. C, 10 feet. Or D, 8 feet.
Oh, my God.
Mason, you're up first.
I'll say 5 feet.
Okay, Jacob.
I will say 3 feet.
Ireland.
I'll go 8 feet.
Bergman.
I like the 8 feet one.
All right, and Jorge.
3 feet.
3 feet it is.
Oh,
Jacob
gets
and
the point,
Jorge on the
Jorge
board.
gets the point.
Yeah,
Nice.
see, you don't really have to know.
You can tell you set it
They
up
got really
correctly.
short arms.
Yeah, very short arms like my brother at dinner.
It's like how I run.
No, I didn't mean that.
I run
My
like that,
brother
too.
When
Does
your
sometimes.
brother when the check comes.
Yeah, my brother when the check comes. Exactly.
When did dinosaurs become extinct? Was it A, 20 million years ago, B, 45 million years ago, C, 65 million years ago, or D, 100 million years ago? First, Jacob.
Now, we're talking millions, so what's the difference between 20 and 100? We'll go with 45.
All right.
45. Okay.
Bergman.
65.
All right. Ireland.
65.
Jorge.
100.
And Mason.
I'm going 65.
Answer is 65 million years ago.
Oh, there
I
we
get
go.
a
So
point.
me,
All right.
Mason, and Bergman got it?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 3. How did most dinosaurs reproduce? A, the same as fish. B, the same as humans. Or C, they laid eggs. Who's first? That
this
would be Bergman.
Sure.
Didn't it depend on the dinosaur?
I said
eggs?
most dinosaurs.
Most okay. Let's go with eggs.
All
I'll go
right.
with the eggs.
Jorge.
Eggs.
Okay. That would be Mason.
Eggs.
And
I think eggs
Jacob.
is the way.
All right. And Ireland.
Yeah, well, in Game of Thrones, the dragons laid eggs, so I'm going to say that the dinosaurs laid eggs.
Yeah, probably
I'll go
too easy.
eggs.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
eggs.
we all
Yeah,
are
legs.
on that.
Dinosaur
Ireland, are
eggs.
you keeping score there by chance?
Yeah, everybody's got 2.
Good, okay.
I had to write that kind of tricky because
Yeah, yeah.
subject matter.
Sure.
Okay. How many teeth did Triceratops have? A, 300. B, 800. C, 3. Or D, 60. First one goes to Jorge.
What was A?
300.
Oh no, I'll go with C.
Okay, 3. Yep. Who's next? Mason.
I'll go 300.
Okay. Jacob.
I'll go 60.
Okay. Ireland.
I'm with Jacob, 60.
And Bergman.
Yeah, I like 60.
The answer is 800.
Oh,
Wow.
800.
800. Nobody went high.
Oh, C.
Wow,
man.
800 teeth?
No, that was D.
That's unbelievable.
Nice try.
Seriously, that dinosaur had
800 teeth.
800?
I thought that somebody would fall for the 3
there's a
for the
market
Triceratops.
For dinosaur
Yeah, Jorge did.
dentist where you could make a fortune.
Oh, yeah, dinosaur dentist. Good business.
All right. What kind of dinosaur is Fred Flintstone's pet Dino? A, Stegosaurus. B, Snorkosaurus. C, Brontosaurus. Or D, Diptodontus. Whose choice is it now?
Let's go, John.
John.
Brontosaurus.
All right.
Jorge.
C. Brontosaurus.
Okay.
Me, Brontosaurus. Jacob.
I like Brontosaurus too.
And Bergman.
Brontosaurus.
You're all wrong. It's a Snorkosaurus.
Really?
It's a Snorkosaurus. That's a real thing.
Snorkosaurus.
Is there
Oh
such
my
a
God,
thing?
I
Look
thought
it
you
up.
said
Fred
that.
Flintstone
Amanda's fault.
Snorkosaurus.
Wow.
I
Okay.
thought you completely made that up.
Yes.
thought you
Snorkosaurus
would.
Hunter was an actual Flintstones episode.
Wow.
Shockingly, this game is still dead.
It's kind of fun, though, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We're all clueless. Yeah.
What was the lifespan of a Tyrannosaurus Rex? A, 20 to 30 years. B, 10 years. C, 50 or 60 years. Or D, 75 years. First up would be Mason.
I'll say 50. I'll say 45.
Like 50 to 60? That was
Oh,
not,
50
45
to,
was
50
not one
to
of the
60.
choices.
I was just getting more specific. 50 to 60, I'll go with.
Okay, Jacob.
I like 50 to 60.
All right, let's go Bergman.
75.
All right, Jorge.
75.
None of you are right. It's 20
you
to
asked
30
John.
years.
That's
It
John.
is.
Well, I
Oh,
would have guessed 20 to 30.
No, you wouldn't
There's so many
have
people. There's so many people. That's my fault.
Was 20 to-
I will be,
That was
I
one
will
of
be
them.
a gentleman and not take the point.
Sorry. It was too. There's so many of you.
I was
okay.
gonna
Okay.
guess.
It's a full
50 to
house
60.
today.
It's my
Yeah,
fault.
it's full house.
Okay. Which dinosaur was named after a commercial airline? A, Australopithecus. B, Quantosaurus. C, Fijian tops. Or D, Cathay-Quatopithecus. I can't pronounce it.
I will say Cathay Capital.
Okay.
Just because I thought I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
Jacob?
I'll go with the Quanta, whatever. you say.
Quantosaurus?
Quantosaurus.
All right. Greg?
I'll go with the other one that they haven't said.
There's
the third one.
Oh, yeah, the third one.
Fijian tops.
Fijian
Yeah,
tops.
that
Yeah.
Okay. John?
I'm going with the one you can't pronounce. Why would you put a choice in that you couldn't
Yes,
pronounce?
yes.
So I'd say, I
Okay.
think it's that one.
Okay, and
I'll go with
Jorge.
the last one, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The only one who got it right was Jacob. It's Quantosaurus.
Oh,
I
I,
just-
thought Qantas was a koala bear.
Yeah, Quantosaurus. It's like an actual
Well,
dinosaur.
that was the
Yeah.
question, Michael.
before it became
which
a koala
one, Which
bear, it
airline
was
is
a-
named after an dinosaur?
Yeah, it was a
Before.
dinosaur, and then
Dinosaur.
later
All right,
on it
let's
was
get
a
a count.
koala
Let's
bear.
get a count. We're on number 8.
Jacob has 3. Everybody else has 2.
Oh, the
Jacob.
meteor that
Oh.
many scientists believe killed the dinosaurs struck in what modern-day country? A, Angola. B, Mexico. C, Kenya. Or D, Brazil. Who is up first?
I'll go first.
'Kay.
Angola.
All right, Jacob?
Kenya.
Greg?
Angola.
All right, Jorge?
Mexico.
And Ireland.
I'm with Jorge. Mexico.
Mexico it is! All right.
Chicxulub
Oh, you knew it.
crater. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what's the score?
One last
John?
question.
One
All
last
right.
question. What's
all
the
right,
score?
all right. So everybody's alive. Jacob, Jorge, and I have 3. Bergman and Mason have 2. So Bergman and Mason get to go last.
Okay.
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 What close relative of the velociraptor could grow up to 20 feet tall and weighed almost a ton? A, Utah raptor. B, Githyraptor. C, Megalosaurus. Or D, Kelovantosaur.
Okay.
Who has to go first? Jacob?
I'll go first.
Okay, Jacob.
I'll go with D.
Kelovantosaur. Okay. It's really hard to pronounce these
Yeah.
things.
I'll go
Okay. Greg is next.
Well, no, it's going to be. They have
No,
we're
I
going
gotta
last.
go next.
Okay.
I'll go with the Utah one.
Okay.
I'll go with the mega one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with the mega one. Wait,
And-
is this the last? Wait, is this the last one?
Mason. Yeah, this is the last one.
No, then I can do one that they didn't say.
Okay. Githyraptor
Sure.
or
Yeah, let's do that.
yeah,
one.
I'm
okay.
going to T-Raptor.
John Ireland is right. It's Utah Raptor.
Oh, wow, the Utah
The
Raptor.
Utah.
Take
It sounded
that,
like a
suckers.
fake name, right?
Yes.
You want to know the tiebreaker? Tiebreaker?
No, we
Sure,
can
why
do
not?
it, but
All
I
right.
won.
Yeah, do it. So
DeMar DeRozan is the leading scorer of the Toronto Raptors in franchise history. Close without going over. How many points did he score?
Start with John.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
John.
gonna say DeMar DeRozan because he played.
We can just
here.
say closest. We don't have to worry about
Yeah,
the going
closest.
over.
Don't
I'm gonna
worry.
say DeMar DeRozan had 11,000 points.
Okay.
I'll say 15,000.
Okay.
Jacob?
12,000.
Oh, Jorge says
Just
12,000.
I wasn't really going in any kind of order today, so.
Okay, Jacob?
9,999.
Okay.
Okay.
And Greg?
Bergman?
11,001.
And I'll go 11,002.
Oh, you jerk!
Jorge is actually the winner. It's 13,296.
Wow. Nice.
Actually, wait. You know what? Michael might have been the winner.
Thank
Michael, what
you.
did you say? 15.
15.
That's closer.
Oh, Michael
Yep.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were you
that's
allowed
closer.
to go over? Okay.
Yeah.
You were allowed to go
Yeah.
over.
All
All
right.
right, so
That was not a bad game.
no, it was
good.
It was
I
really
love
fun making up
dinosaurs.
like completely fake dinosaur
I
names.
need to leave that there.
Good
Yeah.
job.
all right. So Jacob, we haven't talked to you in a while. What do you think this now? Anthony Davis is going to play tonight. LeBron, Pat Bev, all out. But what do you think of the Anthony Davis that we've been watching?
Hey, major positivity going on with, all Laker fans right now. We're glad to finally see them be competitive. They've had a great streak. And I think it's, for us, it's all about going the right direction, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm loving the fact that the news is coming. Even the Lakers are seeming to be very confident about what they want to give up in a trade.
Yeah.
And I think we've always talked about the fact that anytime you make a trade from a desperate position, you're in the worst situation you can be.
Yeah.
So even though I do believe we still have to do a lot to get better, at least I'm hoping we don't trade out of a desperate position, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, with the way things are going, I don't think it's desperation anymore. John, I don't think I've talked to you since things completely turned around.
You still want to trade Anthony Davis? Yes.
No!
Knucklehead?
No! At 2-10,
you were on the air
I was...
for 2 months saying trade Anthony Davis, and now he's the best player in the world.
So, John, you and Michael didn't catch the beginning of the show, which was the crosstalk where I had, Alan Sliwa has a little fanboy thing with Woj.
We have 1 minute.
I know. I got you. Woj said on our show today, okay, that the the NBA Today, he said he doesn't think the Lakers would necessarily trade both of those picks unless it was for an all-star caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those picks.
Right.
So all these trades and people are theorizing, if that's the bar.
Yeah, an all-star player,
ain't
it's
happening.
difficult to move an all-star player. Difficult
Are there any
to acquire
all-stars
one.
that are even available right
now? Chicago, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, but
he's
does
an all-star.
DeRozan fit with our team? He doesn't shoot threes.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
a
DeMar,
king
but-
of the mid-range, but...
Yeah, and he's not, what you need on this team desperately is somebody who can make threes.
Hey, Ramona, how many foreign players play on Canada's team?
Foreign players?
Yeah, on the Raptors.
I would say 8.
Michael,
all of them.
It's a
All of
trick
them.
question. All of them,
All
yes.
of them, except Chris Boucher.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
they're not Canadian citizens just 'cause they play there.
We are wrapping up. Jacob and Ronnie, great to see you. Game of Games powered by Call Jacob. Winning matters. That's why after an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB, 844-24-JACOB. Lakers basketball next. Me and Momo back tomorrow at 1, 710 ESPN.
This holiday
During this holiday season, ESPNLA and Subaru are partnering with the Folds of Honor Foundation for our inaugural Long Drive-a-thon event. Proceeds raised will provide scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled military